afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. My name's Kerry Cho, and I'm the Educational Content Lead for Twinkl Symbols. And this afternoon, I'm hoping to take you on a step-by-step guide through our new Twinkl Symbols for AAC app. So, aims for the session, I'm going to give you a very, very brief introduction into what is Twinkl Symbols. And then we're going to go through the different aspects that you can access through our Twinkl Symbols app menu. So the symbol mode, my symbols, creating a communication board, using our text to type function, and our button mode. Now I have put the QR codes on the screen there for the app should you wish to download them. So I will leave that on there for a few seconds. Just for a show of hands, does anyone have experience of using the app at all? You know, either with your own children within an educational setting. So if you can just pop me a thumbs up if you have used the app before, that would be really, really helpful. Thank you. I'll just move on to the next page. So what is Twinkl Symbols, sorry. Twinkl Symbols is a product that offers professionally designed and illustrated symbols-based resources and digital tools that can support children with SEND and speech, language and communication needs. As a whole offering, our Twinkl Symbols products have recently been ACE assured, which we're extremely proud of. This means that Twinkl Symbols has been reviewed against NASEN's quality framework based around accessibility for users. So we're really proud. It's a new accreditation for us. So yeah, it just shows us that we are heading in the right direction, which is fabulous. So if you haven't come across Twinkl Symbols before, it consists of 3 distinct product lines. We've got Twinkl Symbols Resources. So these are all based on site. So they are an extensive range of ready-made and ready-to-print symbolized resources linked either to the curriculum or everyday situations. If you can't find a resource on site to meet your exact requirements, then we have the Twinkl Symbols web tool. This is a web-based tool where you can create your own bespoke symbolized resources using our bank of over 8,000 symbols and 150 templates. And I have done a previous TeachMeet on the use of the web tool. So if you are interested in looking at that, please have a look on YouTube or on our Twinkl website, where you'll be able to access a copy of that recording. We've also got, which we're going to talk about in depth today, so the Twinkl Symbols for AAC app. This is really easy to use AAC app, which I'm hopefully going to share just how easy it is to use with you today, that facilitates communication and access on the go. Okay. So I am just going to switch screens, so just bear with me. Okay. Okay, I am hoping and praying to the technology gods that this is going to work. So please bear with me. I'm going to try to talk you through using the app in real time. So I'm connecting this to my device. So if you have any issues seeing what I'm talking about, then please raise your hand or pop a comment in the chat. I have tested this and it has worked previously, obviously, but I can't promise that it will all go to plan, but I've got everything crossed that it will be. So when you open the Twinkl Symbols app, this is the main menu that you should be presented with. So we're going to have a look at each of these areas in turn. But the first place that we're going to start is the symbol mode. So I'm going to click the bottom left menu option to go into symbol mode. And from here, it will be displayed, all of the categories that we have available will be displayed. So you can scroll through these just to have a look to get a sense of what we have available to yourselves. There's all sorts of topics and themes for our symbols. If you go into an area, perhaps animals, you may then have subcategories to choose from. So if we look endangered animals. So you can go through these, and if there's one that particularly catches your interest or you want to have a look closer, so if you clicked on, perhaps sea turtle, so it will display it on screen. Then if you press that, or if a symbols user presses that, it should read it out loud.
Sea turtle.
Okay. So that's just to give you a sense of the categories that we have available. Now, a feature of the app is that you are able to personalize which categories are available to your user. So, for example, if you are working with an early years child, or someone that is quite young, you could perhaps restrict certain categories, for example, relationships and sex education, or our puberty section. Or if you just want to offer a much smaller range of categories to your user, then there are options to do that within our settings menu. If we now go to My Symbols, and I will show you how to create your very own symbol. So I'm going to click on My Symbols top right. Okay, so you can see here I have already put in some symbols. So this is a really great space for collecting and placing symbols that you use really frequently. Or if you want to create your own symbols, you can see there I've got a symbol for dog, where I've used a photograph rather than a symbol. So this is something that's really useful within the app. You can import photos from your own camera roll. If you are working with individuals that respond better to photographs, or are at that developmental level where they need something a little bit more concrete than perhaps a symbol, you can import your own photographs to make your own symbols. So all of the custom symbols that you make, this is where you will find them on your app. So I'm going to talk you through now how you create a symbolized symbol and how you create a photographic symbol. So at the top right there, you've got the green button, so plus symbol. So I'm going to press that now. And then you'll have two options. So on the left there, you can either choose your image from our symbols and illustrations, or you can choose from My Photos, and that will direct you straight to your camera roll. So let me just explain further symbols and illustrations. So we have available to you our approximately 8,000 Twinkl symbols. We also have available to you all of the illustrations that have ever been created on Twinkl. So I think there's over 200,000 of them, which you can pull in to this if perhaps you can't find the symbol that you're after, or you want something perhaps a little bit more bespoke. So if we look first of all at the symbols and illustrations, that's the button I'm going to press. And you'll be presented with this screen with a text bar at the top. So if you click into the text bar, and I'm going to type in the word car, and then I'm going to press done. Now, beneath the text bar there, you have two options. So you've got symbols, which is currently highlighted, or on the right there, you've got illustrations. So as symbols is currently highlighted, everything that's shown below will be a symbol, and you can scroll through these and it will show any symbol that has the letter string CAR in it. So we've got car, Cardiff, Caribbean, Carol diagram, car company, car door, and if we scroll across, an awful lot more. But I just want a car. If I had looked through the options available there and I decided I wanted something a little bit different, then I could click on the illustrations tab at the top beneath the text bar. And this would present me with a range of illustrations. As I say, these are all illustrations that have been created for other Twinkl resources. So it might be that it's a single car, it might be a car in a variety of contexts. So there's an awful lot of options on there. But for today, we're going to stick with the symbols. So I'm going to click the symbols tab. And I'm going to click on the image that I want, which is the one at the top left. So that then places the car symbol into the symbol box on the right. You have your text box underneath, which if I click into, I can edit. So if I wanted to change it to vehicle, what else could I call it? Mummy's car. I can do that. And then I can press save. So that's now saved that symbol within the My Symbols section. And you can access these symbols at any point when you're creating other resources. So it's not necessarily just going to, it's not going to sit in this area. It's not going to get stuck in this area. You can then use it when you're creating your communication boards too. If you wanted to create something with a photograph rather than a symbol, again, you go into the green plus symbol at the top and you click on My Photos. And this will display all of, I mean, it will only ever show you 6 at a time, but it will show you your photographs from your camera roll. So if you wanted to create a symbol that contained your rabbit, you could click on the photograph that you want. You type into the text bar underneath, because obviously the app isn't necessarily going to know what you want to call a photograph. So I'm just going to put in here rabbit and then press done. That pops the text underneath your photograph, and then I'm going to press the green save button. Okay, so that is My Symbols. And as I say, you can access that from any other template, which I'll show you in just a second. So once you're happy you've got any really specific symbols that you want, you can come out of My Symbols, and we're going to go into Create. So this is the crux of what we want to do. This is creating our communication boards. So once you clicked on Create, you'll be given 2 options, either to create a communication board, which is on the left, or to create a communication book, which is on the right. Now, essentially, the differences between these are communication boards are single sheet or single screen collections of symbols, perhaps around a certain theme. A communication book is where you collate these communication boards together into more of a communication device, communication book. But we'll have a little look at that in just a moment. But first of all, we're going to go into Create Board. And from here, again, you're going to be presented with a range of templates. So we've got flashcards and communication cards, now-anettes and sequences, timetables and planners, picture and word banks, debriefs, and rewards and targets. And then once you've selected from there, you'll be presented with a whole range of templates. So I'm going to click on the flashcard and communication cards button. And here are your range of templates that are available. So some of them are pre-populated, they're ready-made. So for example, you've got the animal flashcards there, and you've got the occupations one. And if I scroll across, we've got mood board and we've got emotions flashcards. But as you can see, we have lots of other blank templates too. So the ones that are already created, like the emotions flashcards, you can go in and you can edit any of the symbols, the text. So it's not that they are fixed resources. You can go in, you know, perhaps if you were looking at emotions anyway, but you wanted to change a few of the emotions to suit the activity that you were doing, you can absolutely do that. But I'm going to show you how to create your own resource. So if we go into flashcards, which is top center, so this is what our templates look like. You'll see at the top of the screen, you've got a title bar. So I'm going to click directly into the title bar. I'm going to create snack choice board. And I'm going to click done. And now we've got the 6 cells, so the grey outline squares below. So the easiest way to do this is to click into the text bar for the cell that you want to fill. So if I click into the text bar for the top left and I type in banana and press done, then it will find the symbol that it feels that is most appropriate to fill that symbol cell with. And it really is as simple as that. However, there are some editability functions that I will talk you through in just a second. So if I go to the next one and I put apple, and the next one I put raisins. Okay, so on the next one, if perhaps I wanted to put something in there, but I wasn't quite sure which word that I wanted to put in there. So rather than clicking straight into the text box, I'm going to click into the body of the cell. So right in the center of the square, and that will open this search page. So I'm doing snack items. I think I want to put another fruit in there. So I'm going to look at the categories on the left, and I'm going to scroll across until I get to food and drink. Click that one. And then I'm going to click fruit, and I'm going to scroll through these until I find the symbol that I would like. So I'm going to put in there a pear. So as you can see, I've clicked on pear from the category chart on the left, and it's put it in the white box on the right. Now at that point, I can edit the text should I feel the need to. In this instance, I'm not going to, because I think pear is exactly what I want to add. So I'm going to press the green save button at the bottom, and that's going to add it onto my template for me. So again, I'll just the next one, I'm going to type it in. So I'm going to add in rice cake. Okay. The next one, I want to put in orange. Now I know that if I type in orange, I could be presented with the fruit or the colour. So if I typed it straight into the text bar there, I might get the wrong version. So I'm going to type right in the middle of the square again to get to this section. And at the top right, I'm going to click on search. I'm going to type in orange into the search bar at the top, and then I'm going to press done. And that's going to give me all of the symbols that feature the word orange. And there are quite a few. But actually I want orange fruit, so I'm going to click on that one. And again, that will put that into the symbol box on the right hand side. I can, from this point, also change how the symbol looks. So if you have learners that prefer black and white symbols, then you can press the bottom right hand circle underneath the symbol. So you've got a black half of a circle and a white half of a circle. And that will, if you press that, that instantly changes your symbol to the black and white version. If you want to turn it back into a colour symbol, you just press the black and white symbol again. If you wanted to change the background colour of your symbol, so perhaps if you are working with individuals that are using a perhaps colourful semantics approach, then you can change the background colour of your symbol by pressing one of the colours underneath the text bar. So we've got orange, yellow, green and blue. So if I click on blue, it will automatically change the background colour to blue. Again, if I change it to yellow, it will change it to yellow. You are not restricted, however, just to these four colours alone. If you wanted something a little bit more bespoke, or you wanted a wider range of colours, if you click on the colour palette, so the bottom left circle of the menu bar there. So you have on the right hand side, you've got your default colours, and then underneath you've got my colours. If you had something really specific in mind, you can use the colour picker functions on the left. So if you've got a hex code for a really specific colour that you wanted, you can type it into the hex colour box at the top left. You can change the red, green and blue colours to slightly adjust the colour that you have available. And then we've got the two sliders underneath. So you've got one going from a colour to white, so you can move that across, changing how dark or light that colour is. And then underneath, I'll take it there. Again, you can take it so that it becomes darker and becomes more black, depending on what colour you want. Alternatively, You can put your finger anywhere within that colour wheel at the bottom. So if you wanted, I don't know, a vibrant lime green, then you can click down here. And again, you can further adjust using the sliders at the top. Once you're happy with what you've got, you can press on the plus add colour at the bottom, and that will add that colour to my colours. And then from that page, so if you went to save now, it would remain the colour that you had originally chosen. So you do have to choose which colour you want before you press save. So I want to keep my symbols with a white background, so I'm going to select white, and then I'm going to press save, and it will take me back to here. So you press save, and there is your completed snack choice board. So, you know, you could present this alongside snacks to encourage learners to indicate what they want, to make requests, to answer questions, all of that kind of thing. All of the resources that you create on the app, you can save, and you can also print. So I'm going to talk you through the functions that are on the left-hand side of the screen now. So if you press save, you have a number of options. So it will pop up with a menu on screen where you can save this to files. So if you have an Apple device, you'll have your files app within your phone or your iPad. So you can save it direct to your device. You can send it by email or various messaging platforms. You can also airdrop. So if perhaps you're an educator and you're working with a number of pupils that are using the app on various devices, they might have their own devices, you could send this board to specific devices. So it might be that 3 out of 5 have this board and the other 2 have a slightly different board based on their preferences or based on their ability levels. So you can airdrop to specific devices, and it's done in minutes. It's really, really quick to do. If you wanted to print your board, you just press the print icon. So it'll give you your preview on the left, and then obviously on the right-hand side there, you have the option to select your printer, however many copies you want, and the paper size that you have. Okay, so I'm going to save this board. I'm going to call it Snacks. I'm going to press bin. I'm going to press save at the bottom. Okay. Apologies. Before, when I said save, I meant share. So that's how you save your board, and then you get the option for sharing, which is where you can save to files, you can email, or you can airdrop. So it's only once you've saved your board, you then have the option to share it. So you've got the share icon on the left-hand side at the bottom there. Okay, so that is your completed communication board. So I'm going to take you right back to the menu now, the start menu, and I'm just going to show you where you would find that. So once you've created your snack board or any resource, you go into My Board, assuming you saved it. So you go into My Boards, and you can access your board from there. So if I wanted to revisit the snack board, I would click on that. And again, to edit that, you click on the right hand, the lock sign at the top, and that opens up all of the other menu options for you. So I'm going to move on to creating a now and next. And once I've done that, I'm going to talk you through some of the other editability features. So I'm going to go into create and create board. And this time I'm going to go for a now and next and sequences option, which is top in the middle. And then I'm going to create a now and next, which is on the bottom. So here's my now and next. Again, you can add in your title. So I'm going to call this one Bedtime. Now, to the right of that bar, you can see a speech bubble. So once you've completed your resource and you've presented it to your child or your adult, whoever's using it, you can, any of the text boxes, you can have them read aloud. So I will show you that in just a second. So the now and next text boxes are already filled because that's the template that we're using. However, you can go into each of these boxes and you can modify the text should you want to. So to create this board, I'm going to go straight in and I'm going to add my first symbol and my second symbol. Okay, so you could present that as it is, or you could make some changes. If you decided, actually, I'm not sure that's quite what I want to add to my communication board, or you might have this saved, but you might access it another day and actually you're going to have a bath today instead of a shower. So you can just go in and edit. So if I click in the shower text box and I delete that and I put in the bath, it will give you the option. It wants you to confirm that you want to change from the symbol on the left to the symbol on the right. So if I click save, that will change that for me. Now on the bottom right hand corner, you have 3 editability function buttons. So we've got move, we've got copy, and we've got delete. If I click on the move button, the other 2 disappear, and then above bath and bed, I've got the move symbols in the green circles. So you would click on the symbol that you want to move. So I want to move the bed one, and I want to change it to the position of the bath one. So I'm going to click on, so I've clicked on bed, so that has gone to a black X. And then I'm going to click on the green circle above bath. And that will swap those for me. Now, if I'm happy with those changes, I can click on the green tick on the right-hand side, and that will set that up for me. If I decide, actually, I do want it the other way around, then you can just go back in and make your change and then click apply. If you wanted to copy a symbol, so rather than having to go in and search through the categories or typing in the text bar, you could click on the copy symbol on the bottom right. And again, this gives you the blue copy symbol in the circles above the symbols. If I wanted to copy the bath, I click on that first, and then you would click on the cell where you want to put it. So I'm clicking on where the bed was, and it's copied it across. And then you click apply. Obviously, with there just being 2 symbols on this resource, you might not want to have now it bath, next bath. But on a larger resource where you have more symbols, that copying might save you time, perhaps on a timetable or a planner, perhaps, where you might, every Monday to Friday you might have school, so you would copy that across to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and that kind of thing. If you wanted to delete, so you click on the bin at the bottom, so on the delete, and then you get the red bin symbols above your symbol, above the symbol. So you click on the one that you want to delete, and when you're happy with that, you press apply, and then you can refill the cell. So I'm going to put bed back in here. Okay, so that's a little bit about the editability feature of the templates. So if I get you to look up to the top right hand corner of this template now, so we've got a lock, we've got mute, and we've got settings. So the lock symbol, so at the moment the padlock in the symbol is unlocked, which enables the editability features. If you want to lock it, you press lock, and you will see that the editability features and the black and white symbols to the left and the right have all disappeared. So this is really useful if you're handing a device to a child so that they can still access all of the text and the sounds and the symbols within the resource that you've created, but you're removing that editability so that there's less chances, I'm not saying no chances, but less chance of any changes being made accidentally or intentionally. Perhaps, they don't want to go to bed, but they want to play on games, consoles or something, them accidentally changing symbols to what they want to do rather than, the planned sequence of activities. So from this point, I will just try and demonstrate the read aloud features. So I'm going to click the speech bubble to the right of the title.
Bedtime.
So then you could use that. So you could either verbally talk a learner through this, or you could use the voice output on it. So you could do
Now. Both. Next. Then.
Okay, so for all of the written titles, you have the speech bubble to the right. If you want to read aloud the symbols, then you just tap the symbols. Okay, so I'm going to click on the padlock button again to go back into edit mode. If there are ever any circumstances where you need the visuals, but perhaps it's an environment where you need to be a little bit quieter, perhaps you can mute the voice output by clicking on the mute button. And that means that if you present a child with it, it doesn't matter how many times they press the symbols, it won't read it aloud. Obviously, it's really great when a child can access that audio and have the instructions and the symbols read aloud. But we appreciate there are possibly some circumstances where that's a little bit tricky. So you do have the option to mute your communication board should you need to. Beneath mute, we've got the settings. So if I click on that one. So from here, you have your settings for voice, board and book and symbol. So within your voice settings, you can have your voice enabled, or you can have it just as a visual resource. So you can turn off all of the audio completely with the toggle switch there. You can access personal voice. Now, if anybody's not sure what this is, so Apple as a platform offers a personal voice facility. And this does take some setting up, but perhaps if you have a learner that is verbal and can read, but finds using their voice difficult for whatever reason, then you can get them to read through a number of statements which Apple provides, and it builds up a bank of sounds and words that it can use to create a voice that belongs to that person. So that's something that you have to set up outside of the app, but you can then import into the app. So perhaps for learners that have degenerative conditions, where you might want to try and preserve that voice, the use of personal voice can be really, really powerful. So you would need to do that externally, outside of the app, and then import it in, but you can access that using that personal voice toggle switch there. You have region. So I need to be very clear that this isn't language. We are looking at developing our language offering within the app in the future. The region is a way of selecting what voices are offered as options. So at the moment, we've got British, the British flag there. So if I click into the name, which is just next to it, these are the selection of British voices that are available. So regardless of what country you select, it will read them aloud in English, but it's about the voice that is offered. So if I click into region, there are a number of flags there. So, if you clicked on the Australian flag, you would be presented with a range of Australian sounding voices, just so that individuals can feel reflected through the app. On the right hand side there, we have rate and pitch. So you can modify voices so that they're easier to understand, or perhaps at a pitch, or that is easier to access for your learner. If I click across the top to board and book, so you have colour options for backgrounds for resources on the left. So there is an example resource there, so making a sandwich, and you have your colour options just like you did before. So if I clicked on the orange, the whole resource would be orange, but your symbols would be presented with a white background there, just because that may be a learner's preference, or it might make reading easier for them. On the left-hand side, sorry, on the right-hand side there, you've got the book audio bar colour. So I'll show you this in just a second. This is from our communication book. And this is the audio bar that appears at the bottom of the screen, but I will show you that in just a second. For any changes to take place, you do need to press the green save button at the bottom of the screen. So going across to symbol at the top of the page, you can make choices around how your symbols are presented. So some learners prefer text above and some learners prefer text below your symbol. There is no right or wrong way, it's personal preference, but we have the option for both. And then the auto lookup on the right hand side, that is when, rather than going into search for a symbol, if you just type directly into a text bar, this is the auto lookup. So if you type it in banana, it will automatically look for the most appropriate symbol, but you can turn that off if you would prefer to. Okay, so I'm going to come out of this now, and I'm going to go back to the main menu. Oh, just before I do, I will just show you the create book, just so that you can see what that looks like. Again, we've got lots of templates, but I'm just going to show you the example. So this is an example of a communication book. So on the front, in the main body of the page there, we've got our sentence starters. So these are commonly used question starters or just general sentence starters that a child or a learner might use. And then on the right-hand side, we've got a number of communication boards that are all arranged by topic. So we've got common words, we've got home, help. These are all editable, so you can put in communication boards here that are most relevant to your learner to really personalize it. So if I go back to sentence starters, you might want to choose a symbol from here to start your sentence. So I'm going to click on I want. And as you can see at the bottom there, that has now appeared on the audio bar at the bottom. If I then scroll through the topic pages on the right hand side and I go for shopping, and I'm going to click on apple, bread, and pizza.
Pizza.
Okay, so that will sequence the symbols on the audio bar at the bottom. And I'm just going to click on speak, and it should read those aloud for me. So again.
Apple bread pizza.
Ooh.
I want apple bread pizza.
Okay, so that was quite quick, but as I said before, you can change the rate of speech. So this might be for learners that are able to use more than one symbol to communicate, or you're working on building up those words into longer sentences to make requests or to ask and answer questions. Okay, so I'm going to come out of here now. And just to show you, there are options with this so that you don't have perhaps you don't want to offer as many symbols. So there are different templates that you can use for your communication books. Okay, how are we doing for time? Okay, I'm going to show you now type to talk, which is on the bottom row. So this is really great because perhaps you've got learners that can type, can read, can write, but find it difficult to verbalise what they want to share with you, or questions or requests they want to make. So they can actually type it in here. So you literally just type in. So you type in your sentence, and as you can see, that's automatically symbolises as you go. And then you can get that played back. So perhaps if you were completing an activity, you asked a child to record their work, so that they were writing a sentence, so they can then share that back with you or to the group by pressing play. I'm not sure why that's not.
Hello, my name is Kerry.
There we go. Okay. So this is great because you can then print it off. So print at the top right hand side of the screen. So you can print this off and you could stick it into a child's book, or they could take it home as a record of their work, or you could share that with a group. Equally, if you wanted to create symbolized instructions for your learners, you could create the instructions yourself, print them off, and put them alongside their work so that they have that record. Okay, so if we come out of here, I'm not going to talk you through the tools, but I will just flag them to you. So we've got timers here. So we've got basic and visual timers. We've got spinners, we've got captions, and we've got matching pair activities. So these can all be symbolized. They're all fully editable. So you can change the amount of time that's shown on a timer. You can change what's offered on your spinner, how many segments you have. Again, it's all symbolized. I mean, that one shows a numbered spinner, but you could have colors, or you could have, you could use it for choosing pupils by having their names and their photographs on the spinner. We've got captions and matching pairs. They're basically matching activities, so matching words to symbols. Yeah. And then the last one that I'm going to talk you through is the button mode. So for those of you that have learners that use symbols, you might use things like Big Macs or talking tins or sound buttons, and this is effectively what this is. So you might just use the coloured buttons. So we've got the top two on the left there. So goodbye and hello everyone. They're just signified by a colour, so a coloured button. You can put symbols on them, as in the finished, and you can also add photographs. So this is really useful for perhaps greetings first thing in the morning, as a child comes in, or as part of morning routine, saying hello to friends and to staff. So those routine things where, you would expect a child to say specific things. If they regularly make a request for a particular song or toy, you could program a button to voice that for them. You could use these perhaps if you wanted a child to join in with a specific line in a story. You could put a picture of that story character in with a statement underneath. But you can create these really, really easily yourself. So if you go to the green plus button at the top, so on the left there, what would you like your button to do? So it can either read a phrase. So you would type into this phrase bar here. So and press done. And then you would go into your symbol box on the right hand side. If you click on the pencil icon, which is your edit button, you can either assign it one of the coloured buttons there on the left hand side. You can search for whatever symbol you wanted in the categories, or you can go over here to one of your My Symbols, which is where I said you can access them from before. So if you clicked on the rabbit and press save, so you can edit the text at the bottom there. So I mean, it says rabbit, but the text on the left says, hello, my name is Kerry. So if I go in there and change it to, I am a rabbit, and press done, and then click save. So if I click on that symbol now, it should.
I am a rabbit.
So it will read that aloud. You can, however, if I click on the edit lock at the top and then click on the pencil next to the rabbit, I could go in and play a voice recording. So if I click on the tab at the top there, if I click on this on the white circle, sorry. Hello, I am a rabbit. Hello, I am a rabbit. and you save that, then that would, if you lock it and press your button.
Hello.
Ooh.
Hello, I am a rabbit.
I mean, I've got
My name is Kerry.
so the one on the left and the dog.
My dog is called Max.
So if it's read aloud, it is read aloud in the voice that you've selected. But obviously you can record your own voice too. You could do sound effects, you know, if you had a cartoon character or a story character on there that made a specific noise, you could record a child making an approximation of that noise that they wanted to attach to the button, so that every time that character appeared in the story, they could press the button to join in using their sound button. But yeah, you can use a variety of the coloured buttons there, the symbols or photographs, and then you can either type in what you want it to say using the voice that you've chosen, or you can add in your own voice recordings. Okay, so that was very much a whistle-stop tour of the Symbols app. Thank you for bearing with me with my technical hitch. I'm glad that I was able to get back into it reasonably quickly for you. But I really wanted to give you some step-by-step instructions, and I hope that going through it step-by-step and in real time was useful in giving you the skills and the confidence really to go ahead and have a go and to play with the app and to create some amazing resources for your learners.